real quick, if you guys remember the compass, that's what we're going to use to make circles. And the circles are good because they'll transfer the same length. Okay, because every point on the circle is the same distance from the center of your circle. So this is what we're going to use to transfer length. Our straight edge is just to make straight lines. When you're all done with your constructions, then you can use the ruler part of it to check and make sure your answers are right. But when we're actually doing the constructions, you shouldn't be measuring anything to build your construction. When you're all done, that's when you can measure it and check to make sure it's right. But when you're actually doing them, you shouldn't be measuring anything. All right, we're going to start with copying a segment. I want you guys to do these as I do them. Okay, so somewhere on your paper, use your straight edge to make a line, just a short little line like that. You need a compass then? Ruler? I might put one on your desk. Okay. So now, I'm going to ask you to recreate the same segment that you drew over here. Okay, so I want you to make another segment that's the same length. In order to do that, first we're just going to set up our straight line. Okay, this is just going to be the line that we're going to put our segment on. That should be straighter. Alright, so right now that's just a line. We're going to put a segment that's the same length as this one on there. So I need to copy this distance. So I'm going to put my compass on one endpoint. I'm going to open it up. So that's the same size as my segment. Okay, once you guys have it open there, don't touch the arm that holds your pencil on your compass anymore. Just hold the little nub that they give you on the top. Okay. And another tip for using your compass, if it's just on your desk, if your paper is just on your desk, it's going to slide around and mess you up. So put your notebook underneath the paper that you're drawing on. Okay. And then it won't slide around. So then I'm going to take this distance, and I'm going to copy it over on my new line. Like that. So if this was segment AB, right, this is not going to be segment AB because A is over here. A can't be here and there. So I could say CD over here, and then I could say AB is congruent to CD. Or I could say the measurement of AB equals the measure of CD. Remember, without this symbol on top, you're talking about the length. So the length of AB is equal to the length of CD. If I wanted you to make a segment that was twice the length of AB, all you would do is take that same AB length again and add it on to the end of the segment you just made. Okay, so now if this is point E, okay, 2AB is the same as CE. Okay, because the distance from C to E is the same as double the distance of AB. And you could triple it and you could quadruple it. Okay, you can put as many ABs as you want on there. You ready to do the next one? Huh? So this is going to be your answer. You have your segment. You'd say 2AB equals CE. Okay, because I'm going to give you guys a worksheet, and that's kind of what's going to be on there. So we did double. Let's bisect. I'm going to move this stuff down. So now I want to make half of a segment. So I'm going to put a segment up here. Actually, I'll put it this way, because I want you guys to be able to do this when it's turned either way. So if I want to cut this in half, so let's call this PQ. I want you to make a segment over here that is half of PQ. I'm going to put it on the end point. Okay. And then you got to open it up so it's more than half. Okay, because you're going to make those two circles. In order to make sure that those two circles touch, it's going to have to be more than half. Because I'll show you what happens if you don't open it more than half. Okay, if I only open it that much, I'm going to have a circle here, a circle here. They're not going to touch, so I'm not going to be able to bisect it. So your circle has to be, or your compass has to open more than half the length of the segment. Right, you can make the full circle, but we're only looking for where the circles cross, you know, above and below the middle. So if you just want to make those marks, then you can just make those marks too. And then we come over here and we use the same size circle. Okay, so they cross there, and they cross there. And then you use your ruler. That's not go down there. Okay, so I went at one endpoint. I made arcs that were above and below the middle. Went to the other endpoint, made the same size, used the same size circles, and made the same arcs, so that I've got a place where they cross. And now I just mark my halfway point. Okay, so you could make the whole line. Okay, if you guys want to do this, you can make the whole line there. And it's been bisected now. So this, from P to M, okay, PM is half of PQ. So I'm going to copy that over here underneath where I want my answer to be. Because on the worksheet, I'm going to want your answers underneath the problem. Okay? So if it says, give me half of CD, I want to see half of CD underneath the half CD. So this is now half of PQ. So I'm going to open my compass up to halfway. This is about there. I'm going to come over here where I want it to be. Okay. Make my line that I'm putting it on. Put my compass down. And mark off where it would be. Okay, so then you have to say, here's XY. XY is half of PQ. Here's PQ from over here. Any questions on bisecting? Right, so that'd be your answer right there. And then just label the points, tell me that's what it equals. Okay, now we're going to copy an angle. Here's the angle I want to copy. I want to put it so that one side of it is right there. So you copy an angle, you're just going to start with a line. And that line, this represents, okay, so this is this side here. I'm going to make a circle from my vertex on the angle so that it touches both sides. What I'm going to do eventually, I'm going to measure the distance from here to here. I want to make sure that I can take that blue distance and replicate it over on my new angle. In order to do that, I got to make sure that I'm the same distance away from my vertex. Because if I measure this and I go down here and replicate the blue line, I'm not going to get the same angle. I got to make sure that I'm the same distance away from my vertex with the same opening. So I've got to take that same circle that I made here and put it over on my new angle. Now this is the same distance away as these are. Come up here, I'm going to measure from where my circle hits one side over to where the circle hits the other side. Okay, so here's what I'm making, okay? I'm measuring this distance here. So if I make an arc right where those two arcs cross, that point and the vertex form my other side. So I'm going to replicate that over here, right where this arc meets that one. That's going to tell me where to draw my other side. My other side should go from the vertex through that intersection. It's the same intersection I have here. I use my ruler. Okay, and I line that up. Now I've got the same angle over there. Let's say this is angle A, B, E, F. Okay, so the measure of angle A equals the measure of angle D, E, F. If I wanted to double angle A, that means I would need, this is one measurement of angle A, I would need another one to come right here. So I'm just going to do the same thing again. I've got that same distance. I'm going to measure from here, find out where it crosses again. And now I've got, this is 1A. When I connect these, that'll be another A. I'll have two measurements of angle A. Now, two measurements of angle A is the same as the measure of angle GEF. Does everyone see how that's two A's? Okay, should I show you again? All right, start all over. All right, copy an angle. How much of the angle can I copy with just my straight edge? One line. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to copy one line right there. The thing that makes this angle is how much this is opened up. See, that's the trick. I can't just measure this. Because if I want to have a standard measurement that I can recreate, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm the same distance away on this line as I am on this line. So a circle makes sure that I'm the same distance away. Because every point on the circle is the same distance from the center. That's why I'm making this circle on the vertex. Get it on there. Okay, I'm making this circle here. Okay, so I'm setting up 2 points that are the same distance from my vertex. I'm going to put that same distance on my new angle. Okay, so these are the same. Now if I measure the distance between these, okay, I'm measuring the distance between these, well, as close as I can get. All right, I'm measuring this distance. Okay, the distance from one point on the circle to the other point on the circle. This green dot here is in the same spot as this green dot would be. Okay. Huh? Okay. Okay. So green dot is the same spot as that green dot. Does everyone agree with that? So if I measure from this green dot over to here, and then I take it and put it on this green dot, okay, where that measurement meets up with the other one, okay, that'd be the same as me making the same circle over here. If you see where the blue and green circles meet, that's where my other side is coming from. So over here where the blue and green circles meet, that's where my other side should go. Now, if I cover that much up, it's like I'm back at step one. I've got one side of my angle. If I want to recreate the angle again, I need to take that green circle. Oops, put it over where the green dot would be. Okay. So I'm doing the same thing again. Yeah. Yeah. You have to do it on this worksheet. Okay, so if I make this, I did the same thing. I recreated the intersection of the blue and the green circles. Blue and green circles. So, this is angle A. Here's an angle A. Here's another angle A. Those are all the same measurement. 1, 2. I've got, this is twice the measure of angle A. Because I made two of the exact same angle right on top of each other. Right? So, if I put two angles next to each other like this, that's adding. Where would I put an angle if I wanted to subtract it? Which way? Where? If I go the other way, that's still adding on to my angle, right? It's going to make a bigger angle. Where can I put an angle so that it'll make a smaller angle? Inside. Right? So if I wanted to subtract an angle, I would recreate it inside here. Okay? So that red angle, that would subtract away from here. And what's left over, this much, would be the subtraction of two angles. Okay? So like if this is the measure of angle F, okay? This one here would be 2 A's minus an F. Okay. All right, last one. All right, we're going to bisect. It starts off the same way as copying. We have to have 2 points on our angle. We can't do anything with just 1 point. So I'm going to make that same starter circle around my vertex. All right, right now I've got 2 segments. Okay, these segments are congruent. Because the point on the circle, every point on the circle is the same distance. So this is the same length from here. If I could get 2 more that are the same length away from here, and I could connect them to this and get a bisection. Pretty much. You're trying to find out where 2 equal segments would meet. Okay? So in order to get 2 equal segments, I need to use the same size circle. Okay? So if I make a circle that's this big from here, and I use the same circle from here, okay, what I've just made is a segment there that's the same length as a segment there would be. Okay, these segments would be the same. Because this is a radius of the green circle, this is a radius of the green circle. So if I've got this, this is like a kite. Okay, if you split the kite in half, you're splitting the angle in half. All I do is connect them with a line. And I've just bisected that angle. So if this was a measure of angle B, And this would be half the measure of angle B. So I bisected the angle.
And the other side would be another half.
Yep, and this is another half. Okay, we're going to practice this a lot.